I'm standing here immersed in this beauty, with all these sounds around me, and all these images in my eyes, and the cat standing at my feet, rubbing against my legs, and the mosquitoes biting me all over my knees and ankles, and I don't want to move so that I don't jiggle the camera. And just before I came out here, I was listening to a guy who said he's made over 1,000 videos in the last 7 years. And he's up to 14 million viewers. But he's had 40 million views, including all the people who've ripped his videos off onto other platforms, etc. And how the amount of exposure to people coming up to him and talking to him, and it's just too much for him and he wants to back off again. Isn't it amazing? I'm finding it amazing. Here I am standing in this amazing, incredible, unbelievable abundance of beauty, all by myself. And it's so wonderful. And it's not enough for me to just be here on my own. I want to share it with you. And yet, there's also the knowledge that there's an amount of sharing that becomes super intrusive and awful and just too much. And so I guess it gets back again to the thing I talk about so often, which is balance. In medio tutissimo ibis is the way the phrase was always rendered in my family. It's different if you look it up on the internet, but those were the words I grew up hearing. In medio tutissimo ibis. It was the motto of my grandmother's family, the Hackshaw family from Britain. And it translates as, "You will go most safely by the middle way." You will go most safely by the middle way. I was always taught to think of it as going down a path. If you stand in the middle of the path, you don't encounter the long grass at the side of the path. And you don't encounter the snakes, or the scorpions, or the rocks and stones that are hiding in the grass at the side of the path. So stay in the middle. Stay in the safe place. The place that people have tried and tested and have found to be true and helpful and steady and ultimately easier. And if you do find yourself on the edge of the path, don't stand there and cry. Get back into the middle. Find the balance again. Find the amount of things that you need to do in your life that take you forward without crushing loneliness or abandonment or misery, and without overstimulation and too many demands. So easy to say. So very difficult to spend each day evaluating, judging, realigning, moving forward. And it's too exhausting. It's too exhausting to do that all day, every day. It's another form of overload and not balance. And I think that's why it's so lovely to be able to take time like this. To be able to come here and stand in the dawn. Listen to these noises without assigning meaning, without judging, without wondering, what do they mean? What are they saying? What is it about? No, just as. For some strange reason, we live in a world surrounded by pleasant noise and pleasant sights. If we decide to assign a meaning, that's on us. That's not what was provided for us. What's provided for us is merely this. Merely this. And so essentially, what it boils down to is that it's totally up to you what meaning you assign to your day, to your life, to your path, to your success. And in a way, it's like flying an aeroplane. You know, when you drive a car, you're on a road, you can go on the road. When you're in an aeroplane, there's no road. You got to do it by setting your course by a compass. And if you're out by 1 degree, or half a degree, or 1/8 of a degree, you're not going to get to the same place. And what better time to set the compass for your journey than at the beginning of the day. Among the beauty. Well, I don't really want to go. No, I would much rather just stay here. But my video yesterday didn't work. There's volume issues. Originally, when I first put it up, there was no volume at all. Now the volume's all out of kilter, so that has to be done. Yesterday I spent a long time generating a whole lot of images for the Dude Where's My Wallet, or Dude Where's My Reality show, which is fun and good. Now I have to see if I can animate some of them, put those into a video. And I was going to do a live stream today because it's Sunday and it's time to check in. And of course there's housework to do. Plus I have more stories to read, and I have to animate chapter 4 of Ember's Brew, and there are more stories to record from Ember's Brew, and there's a fascinating article that somebody sent me on what was it, imaginary numbers, and how imaginary numbers allow us to define reality in a different way. Oh, so exciting. And of course there are the mandala programs where you can put things in and make mandalas out of them. So many fun things to do. Alright, so off I go. I hope you also have a day full of fun and wonder and joy and excitement, and that your course is true and your bearing is accurate. And this evening, when you arrive at your night time and your bedtime, you can look back and enjoy the success of your day. Because what more is there, really, to love? Really, Reg? Do you agree with me, Reginald? I think it's just breakfast time. Okay. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, guys. See you later. Bye.